Welcome everyone to this live stream. It's great that you're here. And I'm joined today by Francesco Madonna, founder of Bitvault, a new open source Bitcoin wallet that I'm proudly also part of the team. And so, we just gathered today here to chat a little bit about the latest trends and developments in the Bitcoin industry, in the Bitcoin space, and beyond, and hopefully learn a few things about your work, Francesco, and your background. And so, wherever you are joining in from, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening.
Good evening, I would say, because I'm here in Lugano, where I live, and it's dinner time. So we are on different side of the world, as I know, because we work together.
It's still Tuesday for you, though, right? Did you have Taco Tuesday? Did you have tacos today?
No, that's more Spanish, I think. But anyway, here Switzerland, there's a lot of cheese, chocolate, and good stuff.
Awesome.
This is a double introduction, this space, because you introduced me, but I also like to share with our audience that you're very skilled at marketing. In fact, I hired you as a CMO for Bitvault. Given the great work you've done with Bitcoin News, and I see you're doing with Little Lighting News now as well. Thank you for having me here. I'm all yours. Where will we start?
Thanks for the kind words, Francesco. It's great to hear. So, a quick information here. So, I will try and do more of these live spaces just to get to know people in the industry that work in the industry that do interesting projects, but also just to show up more and contribute more to the space. Because I think even though there's a lot of Bitcoin podcasts, there can still be more, in my opinion. And there's never enough education that happens. We're still so early. So I think it's good to discuss things. We do have an upcoming live stream with Pierre Corbin, the founder of Flash, another Bitcoin entrepreneur, coming up on March 24th, Monday next week. So I don't know if you see the event somewhere, but look out for it on LinkedIn. And I want to still kind of start a little bit with a small talk, Francesco, if you don't mind, since this space is also targeted toward the LinkedIn crowd. And I think, macro is a big thing there. So let's talk a little bit about the Bitcoin price action. Small talk is actually not that bad, right? Because it builds common ground. So we just dropped, sad day. We just went down. Does that matter to you?
Yes, I mean, the macro is fascinating to me because it's also a sign of maturity of the asset. If you look at the macro, we have been to Bitcoin since 2017. It wasn't like that. You had the spikes and the bigger dumps, and it wasn't so related to the macro environment as it is today. It was, but not 100%. And there was a time frame where it was very close. Now there are also some signs for decoupling, sometimes strong, sometimes not much. But what it tells us is that this asset is maturing, is now being in the hands of people who invest millions and millions, hundreds of millions in all other assets, name gold, stocks, whatever. So for this reason, it's absorbing a lot of liquidity from the overall market, and that's indicating where the asset is going. I mean, not to say that there will not be volatility, because volatility is given by the halvings, is a feature of it, as also Michael Saylor says. But the direction of the market, it will be more and more in this stage related to the macro movement. And we don't know when this is going to end, because sooner or later the traders behind the desks or the biggest American banks, maybe they will realize, even when there will be another inflation wave in the next years, that they better own Bitcoin than the rest. So it will decouple more and more. It's if you think about that, it's a double value you have by holding a Bitcoin, because you are anticipating where the big money is already deploying and is going to deploy more capital in the foreseeable future, next months, years. But also you have the edge if when and the knowledge they don't have that once they will realize that Bitcoin is digital gold, is better, is a safe haven because of its mathematical properties. You as an individual, you already own it, so you will do much better than them. So I don't see a reason why not to own Bitcoin right now. And but of course, if everybody knew, the price wouldn't be just $85,000. So there is plenty. We are still early. That's regardless to the macro the coupling. I mean tracking and pairing. That's really the story is still to be written for Bitcoin price.
Yeah, right on. And I assume you're a humble stacker, or do you have a strategy? I mean, you're Italian, so naturally you could be a trader. I would say.
I don't think the Italians are traders. I don't think they invest at all.
All
Honestly,
right.
no, it's, but yes, what they do is maybe they buy government bonds, or Italians are famous for real estate. And then we go a big chapter about the real estate because
So
it's
yes,
really dependent. Yeah, tell me.
we'll move on to the next thing. But just to add one last thing, I think it's interesting. Everyone that touches Bitcoin eventually sees these price swings and experiences those, right? So whether you're just someone that buys a little bit to find out, or whether you're a Bitcoiner that is balls deep and all in, eventually you will sell, and just to realize that that price I'll never get back, right? And that happens on all levels, whether you're just a tiny small crab, right, or a shark or a whale. Everyone at some point makes this experience that it's like Bitcoin is unpredictable. The only thing so far, at least, we've known is the future Bitcoin price typically is higher than that of the past, and it's very difficult to really exactly time certain price points. So I think the fascinating thing is that happens now on maybe on a larger scale, also with institutions and just ETF holders, where there's just larger sums in play, I guess, and they will have to make the same experience eventually. So it's interesting.
Yeah, because what's happening is that they are newbies, but with a lot of money. So they can move the market
Yeah, they
as
also
a
have the
yeah.
traditional mindset, right?
Mm-hmm. They will sell. Yeah, they will sell at some point.
Uh,
So there will always be some volatility.
they take profits. Bitcoiners don't take profits. I think that's the main difference. They take profits because they have to, or because they used to. And Bitcoiners never take profits, because what do you want to take your profits in? There's no second best.
Yes, and we are just at the beginning of the financialization of this asset. I mean, the first banks started to take it as a collateral. More and more will follow. Also, there are a lot of services being born on top of Bitcoin to just borrow against it. And then maybe somebody there are also there are already a couple of ways to lend the Bitcoin in a secure way on chain. Without making names, there are a couple of it, but more will be born. So there are smart contracts, and that's secure because they are Bitcoin based. And but the advantage is in information, because majority of people don't know about it. If I look at the liquidity on these services, it was like very tiny, and now it's growing a little bit, but not too much. Still nascent space, and we are the first to understand the value. I mean, the value is in knowledge. If you know, you study, you understand, you believe in what your mind tells you is correct, but you have to turn the TV off. You have not to read the newspaper. It's not an easy job, because the whole world is telling you that you're wrong. So only somebody who can take back his spirit from the mainstream media can be successful in this adventure, or call it at this point.
Yeah, 100%. So I want to just put in a final quick warm up topic here, and it's AI, of course. So big topic.
Mm.
AI is everywhere, and we need to say AI a couple times for the algorithm to pick it up, perhaps. And what's your take on AI? Do you use it? What's your experience? Do you have a favorite AI tool?
Yes, I can see as a founder is extremely helpful. I don't. I was one of the first user of OpenAI. I stick with it, but I see that now I'm excited. I'm finding it great. I am excited about the new AI where you can code even if you are not a coder. You can build small apps as a proof of concept. So that opens the door to everyone to put into action his idea and try to market it. And so in the startup, because in the Twitter there is the Bitcoin world and there's also a startup world. So sometimes converge, sometimes not. But it's also known in the startup world that now they say that the real challenge, the real value is now in distribution. Because if you want to build an app, maybe not a Bitcoin wallet because you cannot risk the bugs by using these apps. But if you build a to-do list wallet, let's say a to-do list app for your phone, then there's not much risk. So you can do it with this AI. And then you can go to market, build a wait list, try to go to market to see somebody interesting. And if it's not, you just ditch it and build another one. So until you find the product market fit. So that's really, really helpful for the society, because more and more valuable applications we see the light today. Whereas it wasn't like this until a few months ago, where you need to have somebody who build it for you, have the money up front to risk. And now you can do it for $50 per month. You can do it. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's incredible. So you mentioned before that it takes an open mind, and it takes also some confidence, of course, to go into Bitcoin, and you have to maybe sometimes swim against the stream. What's your way into Bitcoin? And you also, I think, you're coming into Bitcoin with a different career paths, essentially. Like, how's your way in, and how easy is it to catch up? Because it's very technically challenging to learn about all these different aspects of Bitcoin.
Okay, I'm not a developer, but I attended a scientific school when I was a teenager, and so did some Pascal, some basic programming, and that in the end helped, because then I pursued another career in science, but not into engineering. So um, when I start to invest, and then I came across asymmetric investment theories, and so I was looking for an asset like this. Honestly, I wanted to risk a few money with the possibility to earn a lot, and that was fine for me, but with the right sizing. And uh, eventually, a friend from the IT world told me, "Yeah, you're good at stocks. So do you mind to look at the Bitcoin chart? What is Bitcoin?" I said, let me take a look. Look at the chart, and I saw a big power behind that chart. So it's something I never saw in others. And I bought Facebook like $60 and things like that. But I had an idea in my mind of the network effect, but I didn't know precisely why I liked the Nasdaq. I liked the Facebook or the tech stocks, and I liked it. That was a tech stocks, but I didn't know that was a sixth sense. Let's say. And then the same went for Bitcoin. I put that in that basket investing. It was technological, so I liked it, but the risk reward was extreme in my opinion. So eventually, I tried informing myself how to buy, and I came across an Italian vendor, one of the first Bitcoin vendor with the ATMs in Italy. Okay, I believe the first one with the ATM in Italy was in the north of Italy. And because he wanted to sell a Bitcoin to me, he was very kind and explained to me. And then I told him, "Is it possible Bitcoin going to $200,000 per Bitcoin?" One, he said, "Yes, it's possible." I say, "I also believe so." And they say, I asked him, "What? Why? Don't you have any fear?" He said, "No, because Bitcoin is mathematics." So that sentence struck into me. Say when I say it's mathematics, it's all it's better than everything else, because I understood it. He put together a great piece of article in Italian when he was explaining the halving, like why the shock supply would have increased the price. That captured me. So he explained very well, and the word mathematics really resonates to me. So it convinced me, and yeah, of course, went from there to buy more Bitcoin. But
Happily ever after.
yes, no, it was. That's the anarcho-capitalist theory. He wants to sell me, but explain to me. But and then in the following years, I also explained to other people, even if I'm not a Bitcoin vendor, also have my channel, Store of Bitcoin, to spread some knowledge, because just beautiful to share the truth with other people, to say, wait, there is no reason to fear this. Just don't go degenerate. Don't gamble all of your houses, all of your houses. Maybe just one or two if you have four, but don't spend all of it, because you cannot handle volatility that much, even if you believe in it. Find a side which is comfortable with you, and then study more and increase from there until a certain point you're confident to related to your age. I'm not a fan of going all in Bitcoin, because I think that there are some certain ages where this is not possible, but finding the sweet spot is really a difficult task, but it comes with some study, patience, and in the end, if you find it and you grow your stock because you have found it, you can hold what you buy, you're able to do that, then you're going to benefit, and that's right, because you have put passion, you've studied it, and you deserve it as a Bitcoin. So you can also educate other people after you. That's amazing. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So since we're on this, do you think it's still possible to sort of have that same journey? I guess you haven't been able to buy Bitcoin when it was $1. I certainly haven't been, but we are longer in the game than people that are joining just now. So they might be concerned, and I hear this a lot, right? Oh, it's I'm too late. It's already 100,000. We all know it takes time. Would you suggest of course on a higher level, but like just stay humble, stack sats, accumulate a little bit. Is that still a solid idea for someone that's just starting now to educate himself?
Yes, it really is, because I remember when I started $3,000, but there were daily candles like $1,000. No, that was the maximum. When you had the one daily candle, $1,000 was like wow. And then look at today, we have daily candles of $10,000. So that's what you have to look at, is the intrinsic volatility. If you wanted to understand if this is worth to buy this asset today, you have to look at the growth in volatility, because you went to $1,000 daily candle to $10,000 daily candle. In 5 years from now, we can go to $100,000 daily candle, and that can happen. The range of price of Bitcoin can be in the range of millions of dollars. So we have somebody like Michael Saylor, graduate from MIT, the best university of engineering in the world, saying 30 million per Bitcoin by 2045. And I mean, and he has a team of 8 people studying Bitcoin day in, day out, and plus his
And
knowledge.
he predicted a couple things. Correct. So maybe he's figured it
Yes.
out.
Yes, if you look at the best traders, the best people, even people who are interested in US dollars, they are into Bitcoin now, and they have been into it for many years. You have Paul Tudor Jones. You have also his name is the one who lives in the Caribbean island with the Real Vision stuff, and he maybe is not a good Bitcoiner, but is a good macro expert. Has been into digital asset, Bitcoin, explaining exponential growth, all of this stuff. You have Dan Tapiero, people with the CV, which is long, very long, and high quality. So and then one of the best, Salinas, the Mexican tycoon, saying 70% of his net worth, 70% is into Bitcoin. I mean, talking about $1 billion, and with the people, they have no fear, because fear is something which stems from ignorance. If you, not that you're not a bad person, but if you just don't know, you just don't know. So it's either you inform yourself and take advantage, and you understand that what TV says is nonsense. It's there just to capture audience and also to sponsor government and political stuff. But at the end of the day, it's a choice of responsibility by Bitcoin. That can be some challenging for some people, because they are not used in this world responsibility anymore. But it's a really a force which can improve our society, because it eventually slower. Maybe some people will buy 500,000 per coin, some 1 million per coin, but eventually everybody is going to buy Bitcoin in the world, and then so they will have to have some responsibility, to learn some responsibility at some point in their life, even if a small amount at prices which are not risky anymore, not volatility anymore. But that will improve the character of these people. So this also, I would say, there's also an educational force behind Bitcoin, because it's all about responsibility and self-esteem, or possibility to grow. And it's really amazing. I can also, I think, it can also cure for from gambling and many disease, because well, why would somebody would invest in futures stock that try to time the market and trying to gamble with this stuff, or going to play blackjack, when you know that if you just buy old, you cannot perform all of the future strategies, or the trading strategy, or going to gambling strategy. So you will just be a more a better person, basically, if you follow the Bitcoin route. That's 100%. I see many cases.
Yeah, right on. And there was a good segue that I wanted to pick up here with the aspect of fear. So, I mean, fear is sometimes a good warning, I guess. If you have a gut feeling, maybe listen to it sometimes. So, one aspect of Bitcoin that is scary to people is, of course, um, this different ways you can lose Bitcoin. And I would say there's like a number of categories. So, I would say some of the prominent categories are basically like third-party hacks, right? So exchanges, over and over again, we see that people lose funds because they don't store their Bitcoin on their own wallet. They use a third-party custodian, which naturally has a certain risk to it. There is the other risk of physical attacks, and where you literally just get robbed. And then last but not least, and that's I think also something that's really underestimated, is human error, right? So either you lock yourself out, or also, and put that in that category, is like scams, right? Phishing scams, all kinds of romance scam. There's so many sophisticated scams, and that's more like human error, because you're ultimately just doing a mistake and handing it over to the attacker. Now, you built Bitvault, I think, to really address that problem. So maybe you can tell us a little bit, how you got the idea, and what went into that whole project.
Yeah, I mean, I got the idea because after, say, 7, 8 years in the space, I've been targeted by scammer like all of us, and many of those. At a certain point, I was tired of going to be anymore, so I had to find a way to fix the situation. It's not also included the risk that I really realized that in a particular experience that essentially we are all at risk, because I mean, once somebody knows you own Bitcoin, you tout it, you preach about, and you of course earn a lot to their eyes, then you are a walking target. I mean, they can physically go, and things happening more and more, because yeah, cryptography is great, but I mean, if somebody knows you can hand over your keys, he will go, he will try to extort it with violence. So that's a big threat. It's unaddressed. I mean, you can open an account on all of the other custodial services out there, but you can have, I don't want to make names, but you can have an account there, one of the biggest too. And then they say custody with you is non custodial, it's fine, but you have still have the two keys, so you are independent. So the attacker knows that, and then you can go there with the video call with the custodian service, and they can just be here with a rifle pointed at you, and you have to do the transaction. It looks fine, but in reality, you're losing all of it. I wanted to engineer a way to be really independent against and to offset all of these attacks. So if we look at what banks do, banks have a sign where it stated the vault is time locked. So it's a warning to the attacker. Say, don't even try to get in because our employee cannot open the vault. You just risk your freedom because you go to jail for nothing. So and in fact, I never heard of attacks to the banks in ages. It was something of the 80s, but nowadays this does not happen anymore. And then they have like the red button, no, like in the movies when the attackers come, and then there is the employee which pushes the red button. So I try to recreate something like this, but with the difficulty and the challenge to do that in the self custody. So how did we achieve this result in Bitvault with the non-custodial open source? Like there is a multi-sig which runs on a time delay infrastructure, and the time delay and the multi-sig together, plus a optional secret notification, the red button you can push, that gives back the same result of the same security banks use nowadays, but in self-custody, so right into your pocket. So you're really a sovereign individual because you don't have any fear anymore. I mean, nothing can happen to you. And you don't have to explain to the attacker that your decoy wallet is all you have because he won't believe it anyway. But even you don't have to explain to him that your second key is 1,000 kilometers from your house, because at that point he has to believe you, and he will not. So if he doesn't believe you, which will never happen because you are the victim, of course you're lying to his eyes, so you're in big trouble that he can get killed you. So the concept behind Bitvault is that he doesn't have to trust you. You just have to look at the app. If he looks at the app and say the time, looks at the time delay and the volt, the clock ticking, so well, there is the iPhone. I cannot crack the iPhone, otherwise I would have done their job. No, so they don't have to trust you into this. So that will save your life because there is an external validation of what you're saying, and when in time this and that works also for against tax. So when over time the wallet, the Bitvault solution is going to be universal, like integrated as a plugin into all of the other wallets and exchanges, which will be actually useful because they will let the keys to the user and just put the timestamping there, so they will sell a service. There will be no reason for an attacker to try to attempt the heist, because he will just risk to go to jail for nothing. He will know in advance that there is nothing to take, so the threat will end. And also, yeah, the attack for against the hackers is different. They can try many times as much as they want because they're anonymous, but even there, that the same time delay, the friction will, even if they penetrate to the device, they cannot extract the fund because there is the time delay. But here's the beauty: the time delay, you can select it. You can be 1 hour, 2 hours, to 15 days for greater amount, because the fear you feel, you perceive, is personal. So we cannot, nobody can tell you how long the time delay should be. Only you can decide. So you're really free to set your preferences in our wallet, build your multi-sig, connect it to the hardware wallet, compatible with all of the hardware wallets, and just have the best wallet solution available in the market right now. We think we have find a level space where all of the other solution will be obsolete, because there is no such level of security provided by any either custodial or non-custodial wallet solution to date.
Yeah,
And
maybe
we
so
are, Yeah.
To compare a little bit, I think most Bitcoin holders are familiar with the normal hardware wallets where you just have one key, right? And then multi-sig, I don't know many people that do it because of the technicalities, the complexity. However, I think people with more a larger stack that still want more control compared to fully custodial solutions, they go with services that have a key service, right? So how does a Bitvault compare to these couple number of service multi-signature security providers?
Yes, the security providers, they provide the possibility for you to log in through the web app, and then you can, if the solution is managed, they can co-sign the transaction, but that doesn't have any time delay and extra security against this type of physical attacks of events. And because somebody again can point a rifle at you by being behind beside this camera, and nobody's going to see him on the other side. So the transaction will be completed, and you will lose your funds, and there's nothing you can do unless you utilize our technology. But coming with this technology from the technical standpoint wasn't easy. Otherwise, everybody would have done. We have found a way to do it through a convenience service which timestamps the transaction, and when it gets loaded, it has to wait for the preset time delay, and then when it expires, will be broadcasted to a network. And the convenience service is trustless, because if it doesn't comply, the transaction goes ahead anyway. So, and it's all open source. I mean, that's also something new in the market. Yeah. So it's useful, it's new, and it's really fully integrable with all of the other solution. We are also great believers into B2B for our Bitvault, because I think it's useful for anyone. So we really encourage
Yep.
all of the wallet CEOs, CTOs listening to us to keep in touch. Go to our site. There is a bitvault.sv. There is a contact form. I mean, leave a message. We get back to you, because we are looking forward to have technology partnerships with a lot of other wallets in the market, not to compete or to outcompete them, but really to bring this solution to the people. I mean,
Yeah,
nobody
to
should.
innovate as well, right? I think it's so fascinating, as you mentioned before, right? So the challenges
Yeah.
and the pain points that exist, and it's also it's obviously it's game theoretical as well, right? So the sovereign individual has to be cognizant of the security of his funds, and a bank is specialized in that. They have the infrastructure. Now, good luck trying to achieve the same results as a normal hobby investor. Essentially, it's not that easy, right? So we're unfortunately kind of close to the time here that we agreed on. So Francesco, I think it's been a very insightful chat. So thanks for your time. I think everyone that is interested to learn more, follow Francesco on Twitter, on LinkedIn, and follow Bitvault, bitvault.sv. And maybe as a last question, since you're spending time in Lugano, I'd like to know, how is the Bitcoin adoption going there, and yeah, how's life there, and what's the ecosystem like? What's the vibe there? There's a lot of obviously impact from Tether and the Plan B conference, and also the Plan B network. Yeah, how do you experience it?
Oh, it's I've been in Bitcoin since the launch of the project. One of the first to come here. I was living just 3 hours
Wait,
by car
not the
from
Bitcoin
here.
project. Do you mean the Plan B project?
The Plan B project. Yeah, the Plan B project. It was one of the first to come here, because it was not far from my house. But I've seen how it went. There was some uncertainty in the beginning, but over time, these 2 years, we've seen the goals the administration, together with Tether, they had set to be achieved one after one. They plan to open the hub. They opened the hub. Now they will activate the fund to attract startups to base their company here, and that's easily been done. I think the two key players, they were the CEO of Tether and together with the mayor of Lugano, which are two enlightened people. I mean, the mayor of Lugano is a person which is over than 55. I think, I'm not sure about his age, but he's not as young as us. But still gets Bitcoin and gets it very well. When he comes to visit the hub, you can see that he's really talking the same language of us. And that's remarkable because people, I mean, it's easy for a 20 years old, but it's not easy for a 6 years old. So that shows extreme intelligence. And regarding Tether, I mean, of course, yeah, that's another coin, but you can see by staying here how much they care about Bitcoin. And the last was the post was also surprising to me of the CEO of Tether a few weeks ago. I said that think about it, a CEO of a company worth under $50 billion saying that one day the Tether venture will finish together with the US dollars. For this reason, they are investing in startups. So it's not easy, something easy, you want to say. And probably if they were listed on stock exchange, they couldn't even say that. But they are private company, they can say whatever they want. They can do whatever they want for the ecosystem. And they're doing a good way. They invest a lot of money into startups, like 700 million into Rumble, which is privacy based, the YouTube version. And that tells you a lot. And they hold a lot of Bitcoin, and they do very amazing services for the Bitcoin space. I was really impressed. I didn't believe because they have a big awareness of their position into the cryptocurrencies world, and the world as CEO leave no doubt the commitment of this company for Bitcoin space.
Right on, yeah. And do you sometimes spend Bitcoin for espresso, coffee, as you like to do?
I was doing it more in the beginning, but then not doing it
Got
that
expensive.
much. It's the town is expensive, but you know that before moving here.
Well, it gets
Anyway,
more expensive in Bitcoin terms, when you spend
into Bitcoin spend. Okay, yes, yes. No, I try to do as when I can. I try to tell other people how to do it. It's great, but that's not what they wanted to do with the Plan B project. They wanted to show that it's possible, but they know, like all of us know, that this is the age, the moment of the store of value of Bitcoin. Doesn't mean that it doesn't to be spent. You can spend it, but then you want to buy it more because you want to lose such a precious asset. So that's a counterintuitive. You do it just for the passion of doing it, of showing it works, to build the infrastructure for the moment, while waiting for the moment when it will really be used as a medium exchange. For when it's at 10 million per coin, 13 million per coin, that moment there will be a market cap that high that will justify this use case. But so far it's good. Try to build infrastructure, spend it, and even the usage of the infrastructure, lighting, whatever, is minimal. What matters that is growing. Of course, so I'll try to use it more and spend it more a bit. Sometimes I get lazy, but I spent a lot first months here. So everybody will do it, but there will be no shortage of growth in the Lightning Network on the payment rails, because for the simple fact, more people get into Bitcoin, are buying it. Of course, they're going to use it, to test the network. And it will grow. It is growing. It will grow. Everything will grow. The YouTubers, the startups, the layer 2, the layer 3, the use case, the decentralized finance on Bitcoin, everything will grow. And I mean, there's no reason why.
So that's a great price prediction right there. And I thank everyone for joining in. Thank everyone for watching. If you want, please share this for visibility. It's appreciated. And please stay tuned, because next 24th on Monday we have another live space. And thanks for watching. Have a great week further on. And maybe the final words I give to Francesco. So you mentioned $10 million. That's when people start spending Bitcoin. So we have to wait a little bit. How do you keep fit? 3 tips to keep fit until $10 million coin.
No, I mean, save Bitcoin, eat well, go to the gym, and support the Bitcoin ecosystem. So head over to bitvault.cv and leave your email to be a beta tester of our app. You will help us a lot. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Ciao,
Have a
grazie.
nice
Ciao,
day.
ciao.
Ciao.